Hi, everybody. I'm Libby, and this is my sample of a potential lesson that I could teach, hopefully, for Colinga. So, this first little lesson that I made up is about something that is really important to me that I like a lot, and I bet a lot of you guys like this too. It's food, and in English, I've found that we have a whole lot of idioms that are made up of food or talking about food that might be difficult to understand for someone who isn't a native speaker. So I'm going to go over a quick list of these that I made that I think you either hear a lot or I hear a lot, or I just liked and sounded funny. So the first one is apple of her eye, and this means someone or something that someone likes a lot. For example, the little girl is the apple of her grandfather's eye. So this would mean that the grandfather really likes this little girl, and so she would be the apple of his eye. And you can use other examples for this too, but it's basically um, someone related to you or just someone that you happen to like a lot. So that's apple of her eye. The next one that I think we hear a lot here, at least in the United States, is bring home the bacon. And this means that this person is earning their family's living. And an example of this would be my dad works so hard to bring home the bacon in my family, meaning that my dad is going to work and making money in order to make a living and bring home the bacon in my family. So that's bring home the bacon. The next one that I think we also hear a lot is in a nutshell, and this basically means briefly or in a few words. An example of this would be we went to the meeting and they told us in a nutshell what would be happening to everyone next year. So basically, it's the gist of what happened or a summary of what happened quickly. So that's in a nutshell. The next one, my mom actually uses this phrase a lot, is out to lunch. And this means that a person is crazy or mad or just a little bit spacey. And an example of this would be her mom is totally out to lunch. You should never believe what she tells you. And this is because the person might just be a little bit crazy or have done something in the past that makes you um, a little bit wary of how sane they are. So basically, you just can't really trust them. They're a little weird. All right, this next one is one of my favorites. It's a piece of cake, and a piece of cake is not your obvious piece of cake as in food, but it's a task that is easily accomplished. So, an example, a sentence that you could use this in would be that test will be a piece of cake. I don't even need to study because the test is so easy. It's going to be a piece of cake. You're not going to have many difficulties encountering the task. So, that's a piece of cake. The next one is something that my mom uses to describe me, and it's full of beans, which means that you're full of energy or in high spirits. You might be running around the room or talking a lot. So that's full of beans. And an example would be um, we. An example of full of beans would be she's so full of beans she won't stop talking. Just because you're very energetic, you're really excited, and you're full of beans. Um, the next one that also has to do with beans is spill the beans. And this one is one to watch out for because if you don't want to spill the beans, you don't want to, it means telling a secret to someone who's not supposed to know about it. For example, please don't spill the beans about her surprise party. So please don't tell all the secrets and let her find out about this surprise party. So spilling the beans is not something you want to do. It's not a good thing. And it's embarrassing if you tell a secret that no one wants to be told. So that's spill the beans. The next one is a bad egg, and this is a person who might be a bum or a bad person or someone who just didn't turn out in a very positive light. And an example for a sentence would be That man is a bad egg, so you should try to avoid him if you can. Because bad eggs are generally people who might not be nice, or just there's something a little off about them. So that's bad egg. The next one is big cheese, and I really like cheese, but it doesn't have anything to do with the actual food of cheese. And the big cheese is generally an important person or a leader. An example in a sentence of big cheese is, he's the big cheese in his company, so you should try to be very nice to him. Because a lot of the time, a big cheese is the one who's going to tell people what to do, and is an important person of the company. So that's big cheese. The next one is couch potato, and this is a very lazy person who sits around on the couch a lot, is very lazy, not doing much, probably don't really want to hang out with them, they're probably very boring. An example of this in a sentence would be, she's a total couch potato, all she does is watch TV. So couch potatoes don't really do anything, they just sit around and are not very much fun to be around. So don't be a couch potato. Get up, move around, have fun. All right, and finally, there is another one, a cup of tea, which is something one enjoys or does well. So this is something that you just like to do. It's your cup of tea. So I would say going to museums isn't really my cup of tea, so I choose to do other things instead. Yeah, going to museums, I don't really like it that much, but something else might be my cup of tea instead. Like, I really like to play sports, so I could say sports are an example of my cup of tea. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little lesson. I hope it made you understand idioms a little bit better. And thank you so much for listening. Bye.